The US government now estimates between 30 to 40% of the country's food supply ends up as waste. Voice of America's Faiza Al-Masari reports from Washington, D.C. on one restaurant owner's efforts to cut down on the loss. Here's more.
You see this is what we always threw away forever. It was rare that you see anybody using it.
My name's Todd Gray. I'm the chef and co-owner of Equinox Restaurant with my wife, Ellen Kassoff. Ellen really was the catalyst for sort of saying, hey, we really need to be a little more careful with the waste that we're doing. We really need to look into composting.
When you're married, as a couple, things can get much more deeply rooted into the philosophy, into the mind of the people running the company than if you were a big corporation. You can't lay in bed at night and have your pillow talk about reducing trash in the restaurant.
The kitchen culture, the training for a chef, they always taught you to never throw anything in the trash.
What we can do at this point is nice little cuts. So if we cut them like this, they're crunchy, but once you saute them, they become soft. All of the mushroom stem, leaves, skins of the onions, shallots that are a little too ripe, celery trim, things that we accumulate over a couple of days. Every morning, this is the next step. We put the vegetables on the fire with water, and there's our vegetable broth.
The Swiss chard stems, which I thought the ideal thing to do would be to take the stems and do something with them. So I said, why don't we tempura fry them and serve them with a simple dipping sauce, some spices and some crystals, some salt crystals. We've trained everyone now that, no food, as we've been prepping, ends up in the trash. Then instead of throwing them in the trash, we put them in the compost. So we are able to now put our compost buckets in and around the kitchen. Anything like that goes to the compost. Anything that we cook.
It's only 11 o'clock in the morning and we've already filled up, ooh, that's heavy, at least 15 pounds.
I provide them with clean buckets. They fill those buckets up with food waste and coffee grounds. I then come and collect those buckets, re-give them fresh new buckets, so they always have a clean supply, and I then compost through hot composting and then feeding that hot compost to worms, and the worms then secrete a manure, which is a very nutrient-rich soil amendment, which then I supply to the farms who supply the restaurants with their produce. So it's a loop closing cycle, which I'm very proud about and very happy to do.
You can't grow a culture of employees to believe what the owner's vision is unless they experience it and understand it and are educated about it.
While maybe Equinox isn't going to change the world, I think that we're doing everything to make a difference.